lined with shelves, and every bit of the shelves was full of books. A fire was burning in the grate, and in front of the fireplace, with its back towards them, was a high-backed armchair. Between the chair and Polly, and filling most of the middle of the room, was a big table piled with all sorts of things. Printed books, and books of the sort you write in, and ink bottles and pens and sealing wax, and a microscope. But what she noticed first was a bright red wooden tray with a number of rings on it. They were in pairs, a yellow one and a green one together, then a little space, and then another yellow one and another green one. They were no bigger than ordinary rings, and no one could help noticing them because they were so bright. They were the most beautifully shiny little things you can imagine.
Oh, this is no good. It's not an empty house at all. We'd better leg it before anyone comes.
Listen, Diggory. Do you hear that?
What?
Listen. That humming sound. I think it's coming from these rings.
Oh, come on. The sooner... Oh!
Diggory never finished what he was going to say, for at that moment, the high-backed chair in front of the fire moved suddenly, and there rose up out of it, like a stage play demon coming up out of a trapdoor, the alarming form of a man. He was very tall and thin, with a long, clean-shaven face, a sharply pointed nose, and extremely bright eyes beneath a great tousled mop of grey hair.
Uncle Andrew!
Hello, my boy.
Oh, I don't think we went far enough, Diggory.
I think you went just the right distance. Splendid. There. Now my fool of a sister won't be able to interrupt us.
Run, Polly. Back through the rafters.
Oh, no! You just got here. Why leave me so soon? I'm delighted to see you. 2 children are just what I wanted.
Please, Mr. Kettley. It's nearly my dinner time and I've got to go home. Will you let us out, please?
Oh, not just yet. This is too good an opportunity to miss. You see, I'm in the middle of a great experiment. I've tried it on a guinea pig, and it seemed to work. But then a guinea pig can't tell you anything. And you can't explain to it how to come back.
Look here, Uncle Andrew. It really is dinner time, and they'll be looking for us in a moment. You must let us out.
Must? Oh, well, yes. If you really want to go, I suppose I should let you. I can't expect 2 youngsters like you to find it much fun talking to an old duffer like me. You've no idea how lonely I sometimes am. But no matter. Go on.
Well...
Oh, but I must give you a present before you go. It's not every day I see a little girl in my dingy old study, especially, if I may say so, such a very attractive young lady as yourself. Wouldn't you like one of those rings, my dear?
What? Do you mean one of those yellow or green ones?
Yes, though not a green one. Can't give them away just now. But I'd be delighted to give you any of the yellow ones. With my love. Come and try one on.
They are lovely.
Yes, they are.
Polly, oh, listen! That humming noise is coming from the rings.
What a funny thought, my dear. There you go. Just try on that yellow one there.
Polly, don't be a fool! Don't touch them! But...
It was too late. Immediately, without a flash or a noise or a warning of any sort, there was no Polly. It was so sudden and so horribly unlike anything that had ever happened to Diggory, even in a nightmare, that he did what any of us would have done under the circumstances.
And none of that. If you start making a noise, your mother will hear it. And you know what a fright might do to her. Understood?
Understood.
That's better.
But she's gone, Uncle Andrew. She disappeared. Right in front of my eyes.
I know. It is a shock when you first see someone vanish. Why, it even gave me a turn when the guinea pig did it the other night.
Was that when you yelled?
Oh, you heard that, did you? I hope you haven't been spying on me.
No, I haven't. But what's happened to Polly?
Congratulate me, my dear boy. My experiment has succeeded. The little girl's gone. Vanished. Right out of the world.
What have you done to her?
Sent her to... well, to another place.
What do you mean?
Well, I'll tell you all about it. Have you ever heard of my godmother, old Mrs. LeFay?
Wasn't she a great aunt or something? My mother doesn't like to talk about her. Was there something wrong with her?
Well, it depends what you call wrong. People are so narrow-minded, that's why they shut her up.
In an asylum, you mean?
Oh, no, nothing of that sort. Only in prison.
Prison? What had she done?
Poor woman. She was very unwise. There were a good many different things. We needn't go into all of them now. She was always very kind to me.
But what's this have to do with Polly?
Well, a great deal. Right before she died, Mrs. LeFay gave me a box that she kept in a secret drawer. The moment I picked up the box, I could tell by the tingling in my fingers that I held something wonderful in my hands. Of course, her intention was for me to destroy the box unopened. I promised her so she would allow me to keep it, but that promise I would not keep.
That was jolly rotten of you.
Rotten? Oh, I see. Oh, you mean that people ought to keep their promises? Oh, very true. Most right and proper, I'm sure. But you must understand that rules of that sort, however excellent for most people in general, can't possibly be expected to apply to profound students and great thinkers and sages. No, Diggory, men like me are freed from common rules.
All that means is that you think you can do anything you like to get anything you want.
Well, to the small-minded, I suppose it looks that way.
Will you tell me about Polly or not?
No, how you do harp on that, as if that was what mattered. Like, I'm attempting to tell you a remarkable story, and you go on about the girl. Listen, my boy, it took me years to discover the truth about that box. Was it Greek, Babylonian, or Hittite, or Chinese? No, it was older than any of those nations. Do you know where it came from? The lost island of Atlantis.
What?
That means it's older than any of that Stone Age rubbish they dig up in Europe. It goes back to a time of great cities and palaces and temples and learned men who understood magic.
Magic?
Oh, I've studied it, you know. Magic. I've had some devilish experiences. That's what turned my hair grey. One doesn't become a magician easily. My health broke down here. But I got better. And by then I knew about the box, that it contained something that had been brought from another world when our world was just beginning. I don't mean another planet. I mean another world, another nature, another universe. Somewhere you could never reach even if you traveled the space of our universe forever. It's a world that could be reached only by magic. The contents of that box held magic. The dust of another world. Can you imagine it? Oh, I didn't touch the dust. I was too clever for that. But from it, I was able to make the rings. The yellow ones will send any creature that touches them into the other world. And I expect the green ones will bring that creature back again. But how can I be certain? And how can I know what the other world was like? No matter how many guinea pigs I sent, they couldn't speak, even if they did somehow touch the green ring to come back. I needed someone to send who could go and then return to tell me what they'd experienced.
Well, why didn't you go yourself?
Me? Me? You must be mad. At my time of life, in my state of health, risk the shock and dangers of being flung into a different universe? Preposterous. Think what another world means. You might meet anything.
And I suppose you've sent Polly into it then?
Yes.
All I can say, even if you are my uncle, is that you've behaved like a coward.
Oh.
Sending a girl to a place you're too afraid to go to yourself.
Silence! I will not be talked to like that by a little dirty schoolboy. No great wisdom can be reached without sacrifice. This is my experiment. Supposing I got killed, what would become of my life's work?
Oh, do stop jawing. Are you going to bring Polly back?
I can't bring her back. She needs a green ring to return, and she doesn't have one.
Then she can't get back. It's exactly the same as if you'd murdered her.
She can get back if someone else will go after her, wearing a yellow ring himself and taking 2 green rings, one to bring himself back and one to bring her back.
Oh, so that's your game.
Oh, I hope, Diggory, that you won't be a coward, considering your lecture to me on the subject. I should be very sorry to think that anyone of our family hadn't enough honor and chivalry to go to the aid of a lady in distress.
No, shut up! If you had any honor and all that, you'd be going yourself. But I know you won't. All right. I see I've got to go. But you are a beast. You'll pay for this in the end. Your sort always do.
I think it'd be better for you to worry about your friend than about my sort. If there are any dangers over there, well, it would be a pity to arrive a moment too late.
A lot you care. But I'm sick of all your talking. What have I got to do?
Right. Well, you'll notice I'm wearing a pair of gloves. That's because the rings only work if they're actually touching bare skin. You see, if you carry one in your pocket, nothing happens. But of course you have to be careful not to put your hand in your pocket and touch it by accident. The moment you touch a yellow ring, you vanish out of this world. When you're in the other place, I expect, though of course this hasn't been tested yet, but the moment you touch a green ring, you vanish out of that world and reappear in this. Now, take these 2 greens and drop them into your right-hand pocket. Remember very carefully which pocket the greens are in. G for green, R for right, gr. You see, first 2 letters of green.
All right, I understand that much. What about the yellow ring?
Well, I would suggest you put that one on your finger so you won't lose it. Go on.
Wait a minute. What about my mother? Supposing she asks where I am.
The sooner you go, the sooner you'll be back.
But you don't really know whether I can get back.
Oh, very well then. Just as you please. Go down and have your dinner. Leave the little girl to whatever dangers await her in the other world. Oh, perhaps before tea time you'd better drop in on Mrs. Plummer and explain that she'll never see her daughter again because you were afraid to put on a ring.
Honestly, don't I just wish I was big enough to punch your head?
Go on, Diggory. Another world awaits you.
All right.
Diggory picked up the ring. And he thought then, as he always thought afterwards too, that he couldn't decently have done anything else. Uncle Andrew and his study vanished instantly. Then for a moment, everything became muddled. The next thing Diggory knew was that there was a soft green light coming down on him from above, and darkness below. He didn't seem to be standing on anything, or sitting, or lying. Nothing appeared to be touching him. He thought he was in water, or worse, underwater. This frightened him for a second, but almost at once he could feel that he was rushing upward. Then his head suddenly came out into the air, and he found himself scrambling ashore, out onto a smooth, grassy ground at the edge of a pool. Strangely, as he rose to his feet, he noticed that he was neither dripping nor panting for breath, as anyone would expect after being underwater. His clothes were perfectly dry. He was standing at the edge of a small pool, not more than 10 feet from side to side, in a wood. But it was not the only pool. There were dozens of others, a pool every few yards, as far as his eyes could reach. The trees grew close together, and were so leafy that he could get no glimpse of the sky. All the light was green light, a green daylight that was bright and warm. It was the quietest wood you can imagine. There were no birds, no insects, no animals, and no wind. You could almost feel the trees growing. It was, as Diggory would describe later, a rich place. Surprisingly, Diggory was not frightened. In fact, he'd half forgotten how he'd come there or what he was supposed to do. He felt as if he'd always been there. After Diggory had looked around for a long time, he noticed that there was a girl lying on her back at the foot of a tree a few yards away. Her eyes were nearly shut, but not quite, as if she were between sleeping and waking. So he looked at her for a long time and said nothing. And at last she opened her eyes and looked at him.
I think I've seen you before.
I rather think so too. Have you been here long?
Oh, always. At least, I don't know. A very long time.
So have I.
No, you haven't. I've just seen you come up out of that pool.
Yes. I suppose I did. I'd forgotten.
Look here. I wonder. Have we met before? I have an idea, a sort of picture in my head, of a boy and a girl like us, living somewhere else, and doing all sorts of things. Perhaps it was only a dream.
I've had the same dream, I think. Oh. Hello. What's that?
It's a guinea pig.
Odd. It has a yellow ring tied to it.
Just like the one you're wearing on your finger.
Oh. And you have one on your finger as well. Wait. Something is coming to me.
Yes. Uncle Andrew! I remember now. He was beastly and tricked me.
He tricked me as well. That's why I'm here. To take you back.
Is that it then? Do we take the guinea pig and go home? No. We might as well leave the guinea pig. It's perfectly happy here, and your uncle will only do something horrid to it if we take it home.
It's very nice here, you know. There's no hurry.
Stop it, Diggory. We've got to get back. Do you know how?
Well, I suppose we should take off the yellow rings, since they were the way in.
Done.
And now, we put on these green rings.
Right. And then what?
We go back into that pool, I expect.
But we haven't any bathing things.
We don't need them, remember? We didn't get wet on the way in.
Oh, I'd forgotten.
Ready to jump? On 3.
Right.
1, 2... Hang on.
What's the matter?
I've just had a really wonderful idea. What are all the other pools?
How do you mean?
If we can get back to our own world by jumping into this pool, mightn't we get somewhere else by jumping into one of the others? Supposing there was a world at the bottom of every pool.
I don't understand.
What if Uncle Andrew was wrong about this world? What if this isn't a world at all, but a place between the worlds? Like the tunnel in the rafters leading between our houses. And the pools are like the doorways into the houses.
The wood between the worlds. Sounds rather nice.
I think we can get out of this place into jolly well anywhere. We don't need to jump back into the same pool we came up by. Or not just yet. Come on, Polly. Which pool shall we try?
Look here, I'm not going to try any new pool till we've made sure we can get back by the old one. We're not even sure it'll work yet.
Yes, and get caught by Uncle Andrew and have our rings taken away before we've had any fun. No thanks.
Couldn't we just go part of the way down to our own pool, just to see if it works? And then if it does, we'll change rings and come up again before we're really back in your uncle's study.
Can we go part of the way down?
Well, it took a little time coming back up. I suppose it'll take a little time going back.
Then let's try it.
And so they did. They agreed that if they saw Uncle Andrew or his study, Polly would shout, "Change!" and they would put on the yellow rings. On 3, they jumped into the pool.
3.
At first, they saw bright lights moving in a black sky. Then they saw the roofs and chimney pots of London. Then the walls of all the houses. Then Uncle Andrew, very vague and shadowy, but getting clearer and more solid looking all the time, just as if he were coming into focus. But before he became quite real, Polly shouted,
Change!
And they did change, our world fading away like a dream. Back in the wood between the worlds, they cleverly remembered to put a marker next to the pool through which they'd come, because they all looked the same, and then ventured to some of the other pools. After some discussion on which one they should try, they put on their yellow rings, counted to 3, then jumped into the pool. Nothing happened. They got their feet wet. After further discussion and debate, they realized that perhaps the yellow rings were only good for getting someone into the wood between the worlds, and the green rings got them out of it again. With their green rings on their fingers, they counted again and jumped into the pool. There was no doubt about the magic this time.
What a strange place.
Oh, I don't like it.
What Diggory and Polly noticed first was the light. It wasn't like sunlight or any other light they'd ever seen. It was a dull, rather red light, not at all cheerful. It was steady and did not flicker. They were standing on a flat, paved surface, and buildings rose all around them. There was no roof overhead. They were in a sort of courtyard. The sky was extraordinarily dark, a blue that was almost black. When you'd seen that sky, you wondered that there should be any light at all.
It's very funny weather here. I wonder if we've arrived just in time for a thunderstorm or an eclipse.
I still don't like it.
The walls rose very high around the courtyard. They had many great windows in them, windows without glass through which you saw nothing but black darkness. Lower down there were great pillared arches that yawned blackly at them. It was rather cold. The buildings were in disrepair and decay. One of the arched doorways was half filled up with rubble. The 2 children kept turning around and around to look at the different sides of the courtyard. One reason was that they were afraid of somebody or something looking out of those windows at them when their backs were turned.
Do you think anyone lives here?
No, it's all in ruins. We haven't heard a sound since we came.
Let's stand still and listen for a bit.
Let's go home.
But we haven't seen anything yet. Now we're here, we simply must have a look around.
I'm sure there's nothing at all interesting here.
Polly, there's not much point in finding a magic ring that lets you into other worlds if you're afraid to look at them when you've got there.
Who's talking about being afraid?
I only thought you didn't seem very keen on exploring this place.
I'll go anywhere you go.
We can get away the moment we want to. Let's take off our green rings and put them in our right-hand pockets. All we've got to do is remember that our yellows are in our left-hand pockets. You can keep your hand as near your pockets as you like, but don't put it in, or you'll touch your yellow ring and vanish.
Right.
These doors look like they lead somewhere. Let's go inside.
If you insist.
The light's different in here somehow. It isn't so dark.
Mind the holes on the floor.
Oh, let's carry on through those arches there.
Keep an eye on that wall. Looks like it might collapse any minute.
This place looks as if it's been deserted for hundreds of years. If that wall's lasted until now, it'll last a bit longer.
Does it never end?
Let's go up those stairs. Perhaps they lead to a view of some sort.
The children went up the great flight of steps and through vast rooms that opened out of one another till you were dizzy with the mere size of the place. Every now and then they thought they were going to get out into the open and see what sort of country lay around that enormous palace. But each time they only got into another courtyard.
Look at the size of this fountain. No water, though. Or insects. Or moss. It's all so dead.
But it must have been magnificent when people actually lived here.
Yes, but it's so dreary now. Can we go, please?
Wait! Look at those doors.
They're enormous. Are they gold?
I can't tell. Let's go in.
No sooner had they stepped into the room than they both started and drew a long breath. For here, at last, was something worth seeing. For a second they thought the room was full of people. Hundreds of people, all seated and all perfectly still. Polly and Diggory, as you may guess, stood perfectly still themselves for a good long time, looking in. But presently they decided that what they were looking at could not be real people. There was not a movement, nor the sound of a breath among them all. They were like the most wonderful waxworks you ever saw. All the figures were wearing magnificent clothes. If you were interested in clothes at all, you could hardly help going in to see them closer. There were robes of crimson and silvery grey, and deep purple and vivid green, and there were patterns and pictures of flowers and strange beasts in needlework all over them. Precious stones of astonishing size and brightness stared from their crowns and hung in chains around their necks and peeped out from all the places where anything was fastened. And the blaze of their colours made this room look not exactly cheerful, but at any rate rich and majestic after all the dust and emptiness of the others. Polly and Diggory walked in a line in front of the seated people.
Why haven't these clothes all rotted away a long time ago?
Magic. Can't you feel it? I bet this whole room is just stiff with enchantments. I could feel it the moment we came in.
Any of these dresses would cost hundreds of pounds.
Look at their faces, Polly. They were nice people, I think.
They seem nice enough. Except this group.
Oh, yes. You'd have to mind your P's and Q's with them.
And look at these people.
Oh, cruel, I'd say.
Doesn't it strike you as odd? Those down there look nice. Up here they look unhappy, then cruel. And these look as if they're in despair, as if they'd done dreadful things and suffered dreadful things.
Oh, and look at her.
She's so tall.
And beautiful.
Do you think so? I don't.
She must have been the queen, or someone who was very important. You can tell just to look at her. Oh, I do wish we knew the story that's behind all this. Let's go back and look at that table sort of thing in the middle of the room.
The thing in the middle of the room was not exactly a table. It was a square pillar about 4 feet high, and on it there rose a little golden arch from which there hung a little golden bell. And beside this there lay a golden hammer to hit the bell with.
I wonder.
There seems to be something written here, on the side of the pillar.
They both looked at it hard. And as you might have expected, the letters cut in the stone were strange. But now a great wonder happened. For as they looked, although the shape of the strange letters never altered, they found that they could understand them.
Make your choice, adventurous stranger. Strike the bell and bide the danger. Or wander till it drives you mad. What would have followed if you had? Pfft, no fear, we don't want any danger.
Oh, but don't you see it's no good? We can't get out of it now. We shall always be wondering what would have happened had we struck the bell. I'm not going home to be driven mad by always thinking of that.
Don't be so silly, as if anyone would. What does it matter what would have happened?
I expect anyone who's come as far as this is bound to go on wondering till it sends him dotty. That's the magic of it, you see. I can feel it beginning to work on me already.
Well, I don't, and I don't believe you do either. You're just putting it on.
That's all you know. It's because you're a girl. Girls never want to know anything but gossip and rot about people getting engaged.
You looked exactly like your uncle when you said that.
Why can't you keep to the point? What we're talking about
exactly like a man. And don't say I'm just like a woman or you'll be a beastly copycat.
I should never dream of calling a kid like you a woman.
Oh, I'm a kid, am I? Well, you needn't be bothered by having a kid with you any longer. I'm off. I've had enough of this place and I've had enough of you too. You beastly, stuck-up, obstinate pig. Where's my yellow ring?
None of that!
Ow, you're hurting me. Let go of my arm.
Not until we see what happens after I've rung the bell.
No, don't. That was a terrible, beastly thing to do. If you've bruised me, I'll... Diggory, what's happening? Watch out! Pull it!
Are you all right?
Yes, no thanks to you. I hope you're satisfied now.
Well, it's over anyway.
The children were facing one another across the pillar where the bell hung. Suddenly, they heard a soft noise from the end of the room which was still undamaged. They turned, quick as lightning, to see what it was. One of the robed figures, the furthest one of all, the woman whom Diggory thought so beautiful, was rising from its chair. When she stood up, they realized that she was even taller than they thought. And you could see at once, not only from her crown and robes, but from the flash of her eyes and the curve of her lips, that she was indeed a great queen. She looked round the room and saw the damage and saw the children. She came forward with long, swift strides.
Who has awakened me? Who has broken the spell?
I think it must have been me.
You? You? But you are only a child. A common child. Anyone can see at a glance that you have no drop of royal or noble blood in your veins. How did such as you dare to enter this house?
We've come from another world. By magic.
Is this true?
Yes, it is.
Let me look at you. You are no magician. The mark of it is not on you. You must be only the servant of a magician. It is on another's magic that you have traveled here.
It was my Uncle Andrew.
Whoa!
There is great peril here. The whole palace is breaking up. If we are not out of it in a few minutes, we shall be buried under the ruin. Come.
The Queen led them from the Hall of Images into a long corridor, and then through a maze of halls and stairs and courtyards. Polly thought she was a terrible woman, and wished she could get Diggory alone long enough for them both to touch their yellow rings and get away from her. Diggory, meanwhile, thought the Queen was wonderfully brave and strong, and wished she'd tell them the story of the place. She did tell them certain things as they went along, but not what either of them wanted to hear.
That door leads to the dungeons. Oh. That passage leads to the principal torture chambers. This was the old banqueting hall where my great-grandfather bade several hundred nobles to a feast and killed them all before they had drunk their fill. They had rebellious thoughts.
They finally reached the main entrance, where they were blocked by two doors made of something dead black, either ebony or some black metal which is not found in our world. They were fastened with great bars, most of them too high to reach and too heavy to lift. The Queen said something Diggory and Polly couldn't understand, and made an action as if she were throwing something toward the doors. The doors trembled for a second, as if they were made of silk, and then crumbled away, till there was nothing left of them but a heap of dust on the threshold.
Oh my!
Has your master magician, your uncle, power like mine? That I shall know later. In the meantime, remember what you have seen. This is what happens to things and to people who stand in my way.
They were now in the open air. The wind that blew in their faces was cold, yet somehow stale. They were on a high terrace looking down on a great landscape below them. Low down and near the horizon hung a great red sun, far bigger than our sun. Diggory felt at once that it was also older than ours, a sun near the end of its life, weary of looking down upon that world. And on the earth, in every direction as far as the eye could see, there spread a vast city in which there was no living thing to be seen.
Look well on that which no eyes will ever see again. Such was Charn, that great city, the city of the King of Kings, the wonder of the world, perhaps of all worlds.
Infernal Run.
Rule any city as great as this, boy?
No.
Then behold! See the temples, towers, palaces, pyramids, and bridges. See where our great river once flowed and is now turned to a ditch of grey
3,
dust.
2,
It is
1.
silent now.
Throw or carry
I
the
have
ball
stood here
into
when
the
the
enemy
whole
goal.
air was full of the noises of Charn. The trampling of feet, the creaking of wheels, the cracking of whips, and the groaning of slaves. The thunder of chariots, and the sacrificial drums beating in the temples. I have stood here when the roar of battle went up from every
reset.
street, and the river of Charn ran red.
The enemy has the ball.
All in one moment, one woman blotted it out forever. Who? I, Jadis, the last queen, but the queen of the world. It is my sister's fault. She drove me to it. At any moment I was ready to make peace, yes, and to spare her life too, if she would only yield me the throne, but she would not. Her pride destroyed the whole world. Even after the war had begun, there was a solemn promise that neither side would use magic. But when she broke her promise, what could I do? Fool. She even knew that I had the secret of deplorable word. Did she think
The enemy has the ball.
that I would not use it?
What was it?
That
Intercept. Your team has the ball.
of secrets.
The enemy has the ball.
Things of ours that
Your
would,
team has the ball.
if spoken with the proper ceremonies, would destroy
You
all
have the ball.
living things except the one who spoke. I paid a terrible
The
price
enemy
to
has the
learn that
ball.
word. But I did not use it until she forced me to it. Even as the blood of my armies poured out like water in the last great battle, I did not use my power. When she came, leading her rebels up the great stairs of my palace, we waited until it was so close that we could see one another's faces. Victory, she said. Yes, I replied, but not yours.
You have the ball.
Did I speak the deplorable word? A moment later, I was the only living thing beneath the sun.
The enemy has the ball.
What people, boy?
All the ordinary people who'd never done with any harm.
Do you understand? I was the king. It belonged to you. What else were they there for but to do my will?
It was rather hard luck on them all the same.
I'd forgotten that you were only a common boy. How should you understand the reasons of state? You must learn, child, that what would be wrong for you or any common people is not wrong
1
for
minute
great
remaining.
queens such as I. The weight of the world
team
is on our
has the
shoulders.
ball.
We must be freed from all rules.
My uncle said as much. So, what did you do then?
I had already cast strong spells on the hall where the images of my ancestors sit, and the force of those spells was that I should sleep among them, like an image myself, and need neither food nor fire, though it were 1,000 years, till one came and struck the bell and awoke me.
Was it the deplorable word that made your son like that?
Like what?
So big, so red, and so cold.
It has always been so, at least for hundreds and thousands of years. Have you a different sort of sun in your world?
Yes, it's smaller and yellower, and it gives a good deal more heat.
Ah, yours is a younger world. Excellent. Let us be going. It is cold here at the end of all ages.
Going?
Going where?
Where? To your world, of course. What else were you sent here for, if not to fetch me?
I'm sure you wouldn't like our world at all. It's not your sort of place, is it, Polly?
It's very dull, not worth seeing.
It will soon be worth seeing when I rule it.
Oh, but you can't. It's not like that. They wouldn't let you, you know.
Many great kings thought they could stand against the House of Charn, but they all fell, and their very names forgotten. Foolish boy. Do you think that I, with my beauty and magic, will not have your whole world at my feet before a year has passed? Prepare your incantations and take me there at once.
Polly, this is perfectly frightful.
Perhaps you fear for this uncle of yours. But if he honors me duly, he shall keep his life and his throne. I'm not coming to fight against him. He must be a very great magician if he has found how to send you here. Is he king of your whole world, or only of part?
He isn't king of anywhere.
You are lying. Does not magic always go with the royal blood? Who ever heard of common people being magicians? I can see the truth whether you speak it or not. Your uncle is the great king and the great enchanter of your world. And by his art, he has seen my face, and for the love of my beauty, he sent you to me, to bring me to him. Answer me, is that not how it was?
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly. Why, it's absolute rubbish from beginning to end.
Minions! I'll have the truth out of you!
Oh, that's it, Polly.
Right, the rings.
Now!
They plunged their hands into their pockets. They didn't even need to put the rings on. The moment they touched them, the whole of that dreary world vanished from their eyes. They were rushing upward, and a warm, green light was growing nearer overhead. But there was something that Uncle Andrew or Polly or Diggory didn't know about the rings. In order to jump from world to world, you don't need to be wearing or touching it by yourself. It's enough if you're touching someone who is touching it. So it was that when Diggory and Polly came out of the pool into the quietness of the wood between the worlds, things were not so quiet. Polly was crying out in distress because the Queen was holding on to her hair. Seeing the Queen now in the wood, she was much paler and weaker than she had been. She was stooped and seemed to be finding it hard to breathe. For that reason, the children were able to free themselves from her. She reeled back, panting, and there was a look of terror in her eyes.
Quick! Diggory! Change rings and into the home pool!
Right!
Lucy, take me with you! You cannot leave me in this horrible place.
Faster, Polly! She's gaining on us!
Please!
Put on the green rings! Hurry! Where's the pool? Where is it?
There! Do you see my mark?
You cannot leave me.
She's here! Jump, Polly! Jump!
Huh? Good heavens!
The Queen had caught Diggory's ear between her thumb and finger just before he disappeared into the pool.
Get off me!
Diggory had struggled and kicked, but it was no use. She seemed to recover her strength. By the time they returned to Uncle Andrew's study, she was taller, more radiant and more powerful than she'd been even in her own world. Uncle Andrew, who now looked like a shrimp, stared at the wonderful creature that Diggory had brought back from beyond the world. He stood there, bowing and rubbing his hands, his mouth gone dry, and his expression one of fear.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Where is the magician who has called me into this world?
Madam, I am most honored, highly gratified, a most unexpected pleasure.
Where is the magician, fool?
I am, madam. And I hope you'll excuse any liberty that these naughty children...
You? Let me see your face.
Oh,
I see. You are a magician. Of a sort. Stand up, dog, and don't behave as if you were speaking to your equals. How do you come to know magic? You are not of royal blood, I'll swear.
well, perhaps not in the strict sense, not exactly royal, ma'am. The Kettleys are, however, a very old family from Dorsetshire.
Peace! I see what you are. You are a little peddling magician who works by rules and books. There is no real magic in your blood and heart. Your kind was made an end of in my world 1,000 years ago. But here I shall allow you to be my servant.
Oh, I should be most happy. Delighted to be of any service. A pleasure, I assure you.
You talk far too much. Listen to your first task. I see we are in a large city. Procure for me at once a chariot or a flying carpet or a well-trained dragon or whatever is usual for royal and noble persons in your land. Then bring me to places where I can get clothes, jewels, and slaves fit for my rank. Tomorrow, I will begin the conquest of the world.
Oh, I'll go and order a cab at once.
Cab?
That's a chariot of sorts.
See to it. Do not dream of treachery. My eyes can see through walls, and if to the minds of men they will be on you wherever you go. At the first sign of disobedience, I will lay such spells that anything you sit down on will feel like red-hot iron. And whenever you lie in a bed, there will be invisible blocks of ice at your feet. Now, go.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you going to do with us?
With you? I've nothing to do with you. You served your purpose. You brought me here.
Then I must get home. It's frightfully late. I'm going to catch it from my parents.
It is inconsequential to me what you do. What is that old fool doing? I should have brought a whip. Fool! Fool! Where are you?
Oh, this is simply ghastly, having her here. We must make some sort of plan.
That's up to your uncle now. It was he who started all this messing about with magic. I have to go home.
But you will come back, won't you? Hang it all. You can't leave me alone in a scrape like this.
I shall go home by the tunnel. That'll be the quickest way.
Polly?
And if you want me to come back, hadn't you better say you're sorry?
Sorry? Well, now, if that isn't just like a girl, what have I done?
Oh, nothing, of course. Only nearly twisted my wrist off in that room like a cowardly bully. Only struck the bell with a hammer like a silly idiot. Only turned back in the wood so she had time to catch hold of you before we jumped into the pool. That's all.
Oh. Well, all right. right. I'll say I'm sorry. And I really am sorry about twisting your wrist. There. And now please be decent and come back. I shall be in a frightful way if you don't.
I don't see what's going to happen to you. It's your uncle who's going to sit on red-hot chairs and have ice in his bed, isn't it?
Oh, it's not him I'm worried about. It's my mother. What if that creature goes into her room? It might frighten her to death.
Oh, I see. All right, then. I'll come back if I can. But I must go now.
Polly? Thank you.
This tunnel. It seemed like such a grand adventure a few hours ago, didn't it? Now I wish we'd played a game at home instead.
See you later.
If I can.
Oh, I do hope we can get this mess sorted out. And where is Uncle Andrew?
Letitia, my dear, you're here. Oh, upon my word, I'm dreadfully shaken. Most upsetting. And at my time of life. Oh,
What's happened to you? Did I hear you send Matilda out for a cab?
a cab. Well, yes, actually.
And what are you wearing, Andrew?
Wearing? Oh, yes. Well, I thought a proper suit and hat were appropriate for the occasion. She's a superb creature, you know, and I'm a well-preserved fellow, if I may say so.
Superb creature? Occasion? What are you on about?
It's difficult to explain right now, but do be a good girl and lend me £5 or so. I have to go out.
I certainly won't. How many times have I
Now,
told
please
you?
don't be troublesome, my dear girl. It's most important. You'll put me in a very awkward position if you don't. There's someone important that I must entertain.
And who, pray, are you going to entertain?
Now, slave, how long am I to wait for my chariot?
Good heavens!
Well,
I sent for a cab.
Who is this young person, Andrew, may I ask?
It's a distinguished foreigner. A very important person, you see.
Rubbish. She looks like a shameless hussy. Young lady, you're to leave my house this moment or I'll send for the police.
what woman is this? Down on your knees, minion, before I blast you.
No strong language in this house, if you please, young woman.
Chronicles forani an. What? What has happened to my powers?
I thought as much. The woman is drunk. Drunk!
If you please, sir, Mum, the hansom cab has come.
Then lead on, slave.
Yes, of course.
Andrew?
No time now, Letitia. Later!
I've never seen such a thing. Did you see that woman, Matilda?
Yes, Mum.
She must have escaped from a circus somewhere. And drunk as well. Andrew will come to no good, I know it.
Uncle Andrew? Uncle Andrew! Oh. Hello, Aunt Letty. Is Uncle Andrew here?
I should say not. He left with that woman.
Oh, no.
What do you know of it?
Only that I think I know how to take her away from here.
Take her away?
Yes. You see, if I can touch her and then slip on my yellow ring, we shall both go into the wood between the worlds. She seems harmless enough there. Then our world will be safe. It's the only way.
Has everyone lost their minds today?
Which way did they go?
They took a cab.
Oh, I must hurry.
You'll do no such thing, young man. I haven't seen you for hours, and when I do, you speak nonsense. I won't have you rushing out into the street in this frame of mind. It's bad enough that your uncle has gone off with that creature.
But Aunt Letty...
Not another word. I want you to take a meal up to your mother. I'm sure she would like to see you, but you mustn't say anything that will upset her. Poor dear. I do wish we had something to give her that will make her well again. What have you made for her, Matilda?
What the doctor said to give her, you know. And Mrs. Fennis from next door brought her some grapes.
How thoughtful. Though I'm afraid she needs fruit from the land of youth to help her now. Nothing in this world seems to be helping. Don't dawdle, Diggory. Go on. See to your mother.
Yes, Aunt Letty. Mother?
Diggory?
I've brought you some food.
Please put it on the end table.
You're not going to eat?
Not at this moment. I'm very tired. What is happening downstairs? I thought I heard a commotion. Or was it a dream?
I suppose it is a dream, of sorts. Mother, have you ever heard of the Land of Youth?
The Land of Youth?
Aunt Letty said something about it.
Was she telling you a story?
No.
Oh, well, it's one of those phrases adults use sometimes, I think. I'm so tired.
Yes, but what if adults use that phrase because there really is a land of youth somewhere, but they've forgotten where? And it had fruit with special powers, and what if there were magic rings that could take you there? A yellow ring, for example, that a boy might have in his pocket, and he could touch it and go to the land of youth, and all would be well again. You would be well again. Mother? Sleep well. Hello? What's that? Fire engine? I wonder what house is on fire. It sounds like it's coming here. Great Scott! It's her! Whoa! Whoa! Watch out for that lamppost, you foolish horse! What's all this?
Help me! Help! I'm in here! In the cab!
Uncle Andrew?
Diggory! Oh, dear boy, pull me out of this wretched contraption. Quickly before... Oh, it's too late.
That's the woman, that's her. Do your duty. Hundreds and thousands of pounds worth she's taken out of my shop. Look at that rope of pearls around her neck. That's mine. And she's given me a black eye, too, once more.
Oh, yes, Governor, and it's lovely the black eyes I wish to see. Yeah, I thought we'd have worked that.
Hey, she's strong then. You want to put a nice bit of raw beef steak on that, mister?
Now then, what's all this here?
Help me inside, Diggory.
No, you don't. You're staying right here.
Dear me, you don't understand. I'm terribly shaken. Someone could give me a small glass of brandy.
You can forget the brandy, sir, and attend me, if you please. Now, are you responsible for that young woman?
Young woman?
That'll be enough of that. Now come down from that horse immediately.
Oi! Stop that woman! It's my horse what she's sitting on, same as it's my cab she's wrapped around that lamppost.
Yeah, one at a time, please.
But there ain't no time. I knows that horse better than you do. Tain't an ordinary horse. His father was a officer's charger in the cavalry, he was. And if the young woman goes on exciting him, there'll be murder done. Here, let me get at him.
Now, you heard that man, missy. Get off his horse.
That's right. You give me his lead and you climb off, nice and easy. You're a lady, you don't all these people going for you, do you? You want to go home and have a nice cup of tea and lie down quiet like, and then you'll feel ever so much better. Now you steady, Strawberry, steady, old boy, steady now.
Unhand our royal charger. We are the Empress Jardis.
Oh, an empress, are you? We'll see about that.
3 cheers for the Empress of Cognac!
Diggory!
Polly, I'm glad you're here.
We have to stop her. We have to take her away from here.
I have the ring. If I can get close enough to touch her...
Taunt me? Do you taunt me?
Calm down, young woman. What are you doing? Let go of that lamppost.
Did you see that?
She broke that crossbar off the lamppost like it was a dry twig.
I'll teach you to taunt me!
Diggory should club them to death. This must be stopped.
Hold on to me tight. You'll have to manage the ring. Yellow, remember? And don't put it on until I shout.
Madam, my dear young lady, compose yourself.
No, stay calm, stay calm. Easy, Strawberry, now, come here. Here, eat it.
Scum! You shall pay dearly for this when I have conquered your world. Not one stone of your city will be left. I will make it as Charn, as Falinda, as Solois, as Bramantin.
I've got her ankle! Polly! The ring! Put on the ring!
All right, guys, hang on. Let me put on that the second CD of the book.
Delirium. Is it the end? Oh, I can't bear it. It's not fair. I never meant to be a magician. It's all a misunderstanding. It's all my godmother's fault. I must protest against this in my state of health, too.
Oh, bother. What are you doing here, Uncle Andrew? You weren't supposed to come along. Are you there, Polly?
Yes, I'm here. But do stop shoving.
I'm not. Wait.
Oh no! We brought the horse too!
And the cabbie.
That's right, Strawberry. Yeah, that's much better, isn't it? Now, take it easy.
And Queen Jardis is still on the horse's back. She's still holding that iron bar.
Don't worry. See? She's as helpless as a baby.
What has happened?
That's right, old boy. Come over to this pool and have a drink, if that's what you want.
Strawberry did the most natural thing in the world. Being very thirsty, he walked slowly across to the nearest pool and stepped into it to have a drink. Diggory, you see, was still holding the witch's heel, and Polly was holding Diggory's hand. One of the cabbie's hands was on Strawberry, and Uncle Andrew, still very shaky, had just grabbed onto the cabbie's other hand.
Are we all still touching?
Yes.
Then let's take the witch back to Charn. Put on the green rings.
There.
Oh dear, what now?
Shouldn't we be there by now?
Well, we seem to be somewhere. I'm standing on something solid.
Now you mention it, so am I. But why is it so dark? Do you think we got into the wrong pool?
Perhaps this is Charn, but we arrived in the middle of the night.
This is not Charn, you fools. This is an empty world. This is nothing.
If nothing, it certainly is. I can't see a thing.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing. Makes no difference whether my eyes are open or closed.
And it's awfully cold.
My doom has come upon me.
Oh, my dear young lady, pray don't say such things. It can't be as bad as all that.
Now then, keep cool, everyone. That's what I say. Now, no bones broken, anyone? No? Good. Right, well now then, that's something to be thankful for, isn't it? Eh? And more than anyone could expect after falling all that way. diggings for a new underground station's what I think. Right under the street. So someone will come and get us out presently, you see.
What are you on about?
Well, we must have fallen through an hole in the road. Unless we are dead, which I don't deny is a possibility. Worse things have happened at sea, and a chap's got to die sometime. And there ain't nothing to be afraid of if a chap's led a decent life.
Diggory, slip on your ring. Let's be off. Leave these lunatics behind.
Fool! Have you forgotten that I can hear men's thoughts? Let go of that boy. If you attempt treachery, I will take such vengeance upon you as was never heard of in all the worlds from the beginning.
And if you think I'm such a mean pig as to go off and leave Polly, and the cabbie and the horse, in a place like this, you're jolly well mistaken.
You're a very naughty and impertinent little boy.
Hush! Something's happening. Oh, listen to that. Isn't it lovely?
Then two wonders happened at the same moment. One was that the voice was suddenly joined by other voices. More voices than you could possibly count. They were in harmony with it, but far higher up the scale. Cold, tingling, silvery voices. The second wonder was that the blackness overhead all at once was blazing with stars. They didn't come out gently, one by one, as they do on a summer evening. One moment there was nothing but darkness. Next moment, 1,000 points of light leapt up. Single stars, constellations and planets. Brighter and bigger than any in our world.
The stars! Diggory, look at the stars!
I see.
Are the stars singing? Oh, glory be. I'd have been a better man all my life if I'd known there was things like this.
Oh. Where are the stars going? They're fading away.
I say, I can see your face now.
And I can see yours.
There's a light on the horizon. Look, beyond those hills. It's pink. No, it's white. No. Oh, look, it's gold.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I want the singing to stop. I want it to stop. Now.
The sun.
It seems like such a young sun.
Do you see? We're in a valley. Oh, and look at that beautiful river.
But where are the trees and bushes? Where's the grass?
Who needs them with these colours? They're dazzling. Hey, wait. What's that over there?
It's an animal, I think.
It's not just an animal. It's a lion.
It is indeed. And it's the one that's been singing.
This is a terrible world. We must fly at once. Prepare the magic.
Quite agree with you, madam. A most disagreeable place. Completely uncivilized. If only I were a younger man had a gun.
A gun? You don't think you could shoot him, do you?
And who would?
Prepare the magic, old fool.
Certainly, madam. I must have both the children touching me. Put on your homeward ring at once, Diggory.
Oh, it's the rings, is it?
Take care. If either of you come half an inch nearer, we two will vanish, and you will be left here for good. Just keep your distance. Yes, I have a ring in my pocket that will take Polly and me home. I'm sorry about you and your horse, Mr. Cabby, but I can't help that.
Hold your noise, everyone. Something has changed. What? You wanted grass, young man. There's your grass.
It's growing so fast.
So is the heather. And the trees.
It's amazing.
Give me the ring, boy.
Hey!
I want that ring.
You tried for the wrong pocket.
Give it to me.
Stop it, you fool. Stand back. If you go within 10 paces of either of the children, I will use this iron bar to knock out your brains. How dare you even think of stealing back to your own world without me?
I would be perfectly within my rights. I have been most shamefully and abominably treated. I've done my best to show you such civilities as were in my power, and what has been my reward? You have robbed! A highly respectable jeweller. You've insisted on my entertaining you to an exceedingly expensive expensive, not to say ostentatious lunch. You've assaulted the police. I feel I've been publicly disgraced and I shall...
Oh, stow it, Governor, stow it. Watching and listening's the thing at present, not talking.
There was certainly plenty to watch and to listen to. Full-grown trees with lush branches now swayed gently above their heads. They stood on cool green grass sprinkled with daisies and buttercups. A little way off along the river bank, willows were growing. On the other side, tangles of flowering currant, lilac, and wild rose and rhododendron closed them in. The horse was tearing up delicious mouthfuls of new grass. All this time, the lion's song and his stately prowl was going on, to and fro, backwards and forwards. With each turn, he came a little nearer.
There's a connection.
Connection?
Between his song and the things that are happening. Don't you see? He sang those deep, long notes, and suddenly the dark firs appeared on the ridge. He sang lighter notes, and those primroses shot up. He's creating it all with his song.
That's ridiculous. Lions don't sing. We're seeing things.
He's coming closer.
Not if I have my way. I brought this iron bar as a weapon, and as a weapon, I'll use it.
No!
Oh, did you see that? It hit him right between the eyes.
But he didn't even notice.
No!
What should we do? Should we run with the Queen?
An excellent idea. And as soon as my knees stop shaking, I will.
Wait! Don't move. He's passing by.
He's not looking at us.
Why do you suppose he won't look at us?
I wish he would.
Right. Now that we've got rid of that woman and the brute of a lion has gone, give me a hand and put on your ring at once.
Stay away. Keep clear of him, Polly. Come over here beside me.
Right.
I warn you, Uncle Andrew, don't come one step nearer or we'll vanish.
Do what you are told this minute. You're an extremely disobedient and ill-behaved little boy.
No fear. We want to stay and see what happens. I thought you wanted to know about other worlds. Don't you like it now you're here?
Like it? Just look at the state I'm in. And it was my best coat and waistcoat, too. If I were a younger man, then perhaps I might find this a more interesting place, but I'm too old. Oh, if only we'd had a gun.
Oh, guns be blowed. I think I'll go and see if I can give Strawberry a rub down. That horse has got more sense than some humans I could mention. Strawberry? Strawberry!
You don't really think that lion could be killed by a gun anyway? He didn't mind getting hit by an iron bar much.
Yes. It didn't stop him, or... Hello. What's that? What? There. Where the iron bar hit the ground. Do come and look.
Our children?
Look! It's growing!
Like a tree.
But this is growing into a lamppost.
It's alive, too. I mean, it's lit.
Remarkable. Most remarkable. Even I never dreamt of magic like this. We're in a world where everything comes to life and grows. Drop a crossbar here, and it grows into a lamppost. This is stupendous. Oh, just think of the commercial possibilities. Bring a few old bits of scrap iron here, bury them, and up they come as brand new railway engines, battleships, anything you please. They'll cost nothing. I can sell them at full prices in England. I shall be a millionaire. Well, the first thing is to get that lion shot.
You're just like the witch. All you think of is killing things.
And then, as regards myself, there's no knowing how long I might live if I settled here. I shouldn't be surprised if I never grew a day older in this country. Stupendous! The land of youth!
Oh. The land of youth. Do you think it really is?
What?
Do you think there's anything here that would cure Mother?
What are you talking about? This isn't a pharmacist's shop.
You don't care tuppence about her. I thought you might, since she's your sister as well as my mother. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm jolly well going to ask the lion himself if he can help me.
Diggory, where are you going?
To find the lion.
Have you gone mad? Come back here, boy, come back! Oh, wait for me.
In a few minutes, Diggory came to the edge of the wood, and there he stopped. The lion was singing still, but now the song had once more changed. Can you imagine a stretch of grassy land bubbling like water in a pot? For that is really the best description of what was happening to the countryside. In all directions, it was swelling into humps. They were of very different sizes, some no bigger than molehills, some as big as wheelbarrows, two the size of cottages. And the humps moved and swelled till they burst. And the crumbled earth poured out of them, and from each hump there came out an animal. The moles came out just as you might see a mole come out anywhere in our world. The dogs came out, barking the moment their heads were free and struggling as you've seen them do when they're getting through a narrow hole in a hedge. The stags were the strangest to watch, for of course the antlers came up a long time before the rest of them. So at first, Diggory thought they were trees. The frogs, who all came up to the river, went straight into it with a plop, plop, and a loud croaking. The panthers, leopards, and things of that sort sat down at once to wash the loose earth off their hindquarters, and then stood up against the trees to sharpen their front claws. Showers of birds came out of the trees, butterflies fluttered, bees got to work on the flowers as if they hadn't a second to lose. But the greatest moment of all was when the biggest hump broke like a small earthquake, and out came the sloping back, the large, wise head, and the four baggy-trousered legs of an elephant. And now you could hardly hear the song of the lion. There was so much cawing, cooing, crowing, braying, neighing, baying, barking, lowing, bleating, and trumpeting. The cabbie's horse Strawberry brushed past Diggory and joined the chorus. The cabby stayed with Diggory, Polly, and Uncle Andrew, watching the scene before them. Though they could no longer hear the lion, they could see it. It was so big and so bright that they could not take their eyes off it. The lion went silent, and now went to and fro among the animals. Every now and then he would go up to two of them and touch their noses with his. He would touch two beavers among all the beavers, two leopards among all the leopards, one stag and one deer among all the deer, and leave the rest. Some sorts of animals he passed over altogether, but the pairs which he had touched instantly left their own kinds and followed him. At last he stood still, and all the creatures whom he had touched came and stood in a wide circle around him. The others whom he had not touched began to wander away. Finally, for the first time that day, there was complete silence. The lion, whose eyes never blinked, stared at the animals as hard as if he were going to burn them up with his mere stare. And gradually, a change came over them. The smaller animals grew larger, and the larger animals grew smaller. Many animals sat up on their hind legs. Most put their heads on one side as if they were trying very hard to understand. The lion opened his mouth, but no sound came from it. He was breathing out a long, warm breath. It seemed to sway all the beasts as the wind sways a line of trees. Far overhead, the stars seemed to sing again from beyond the veil of blue sky. Then came a swift flash like fire, and every drop of blood tingled in the children's bodies. And then the lion spoke.
Narnia. Narnia. love, thing, speak, be walking trees, be talking beasts, be divine waters.
Out of the trees, wild people stepped forth, gods and goddesses of the wood. With them came fauns and satyrs and dwarfs. Out of the river rose the river god and his naiad daughters. And all these and all the beasts and birds in their different voices replied,
Hail, Aslan! We hear and obey. We are awake. We love. We think. We speak. We know.
But please, we don't know very much yet.
Good old Strawberry. I am glad he was one of the ones picked out to be a talking beast.
Well, strike me pink. I always did say as how that horse had a lot of sense, though.
Creatures, I give you yourselves. I give to you forever this land of Narnia. I give you the woods, the fruits, the rivers. I give you the stars. And I give you myself. The dumb beasts whom I have not chosen are yours also. Treat them gently and cherish them. But do not go back to their ways, lest you cease to be talking beasts. For out of them you were taken, and into them you can return. Do not so.
We won't. We won't.
No fear, Aslan.
Go on. Laugh and fear not, creatures. Now that you are no longer dumb and witless, you need not always be grave. For humor as well as justice come in with speech.
Aslan, have I made the first joke? Will everybody always be told how I made the first joke?
No, little friend. You have not made the first joke. You have only been the first joke. And now, Narnia is established. We must next take thought for keeping it safe. I will call some of you to my council. Come hither to me, you, the chief dwarf, and you, the river god, and you, oak, and the he-owl, and both the ravens and the bull elephant. We must talk together. For though the world is not 5 hours old, an evil has already entered it.
Look here, Polly. I've got to go after him. Aslan, I mean the lion. I must speak to him.
Do you think we can? I wouldn't dare.
I've got to. It's about Mother. If anyone could give me something that would do her good, it would be him.
And I'll come along with you. I like the looks of him. And I want a word with old Strawberry.
What? Ha! Diggory, come back! Come back at once when you're told. I forbid you to go a step further. Well, what will I do if they eat you and the rings?
Diggory, Polly, and the cabbie moved in among the animals, who all stopped talking and stared at them.
in the name of Aslan are these?
Please.
They're kind of large letters, is my belief.
No, we're not. Honestly, we're not. We're not at all nice to eat.
They can talk. Who ever heard of a talking lettuce?
Perhaps they're the second joke.
Oh, please! I'm in a hurry. I want to see the lion.
Here, let me try. Now, Strawberry, old boy, now you know me. You ain't gonna stand there and say you don't know me.
What's the thing you talking about, Torf? Well, I don't exactly know. I think most of us don't know much about anything yet. But I've a sort of an idea. I've seen a thing like this before. I've a feeling I lived somewhere else, or was something else, before Aslan woke us all up a few minutes ago. Oh, it's all very muddled, like a dream. But there were things, like these three, in the dream.
What? Not know me? Me? What used to bring you a hot mash of an evening when you was out of sorts? Me? What rubbed you down proper? Me? What never forgot to put your cloth on if you was a-standing out in the cold? Oh, well, I shouldn't have thought it of you, Strawberry.
Well, it does begin to come back. Yes, let me think. You used to tie a horrid black thing behind me, and then hit me to make me run. And however far I ran, this black thing would always be coming behind me.
Well, we had our living to earn, you see. Yours the same as mine. And if there hadn't been no work and no whip, there'd have been no stable, no hay, no mash and no oats. For you did get a taste of the oats when Ockford have pulled them, which no one can deny.
I remember something about that, yes. But I also remember always running in front, pulling you and the black thing. I did all the work. And it was a hard, cruel country. No grass. All hard stones.
Well, too true, mate. I didn't like it any more than you did. You was a country horse and I was a country man.
Oh, please, could we get on? The lion's getting further and further away, and I do want to speak to him so badly.
Look here, Strawberry. This young gentleman has something on his mind he wants to talk to the lion about. Him as you call Aslan. Now, suppose you was to let him ride on your back and trot him over to where the lion is, eh? And me and the little girl will be following along.
Right? Oh, I remember now.
Please, Strawberry, do let me get up and take me to Aslan.
Well, I don't mind. Not for once in a while. Up you get.
Oh, good old Strawberry. Here, young'un, I'll give you a leg up.
Thank you.
Right, ready? Right, gee up, Strawberry!
Stand aside, if you will.
Mr. Lion. Mr. Aslan, sir. Could you... May I... Please, will you give me some magic fruit of this country to make my mother well?
This is the boy. This is the boy who did it.
Oh dear. What have I done now?
Son of Adam, there is an evil witch abroad in my new land of Narnia. Tell these good beasts how she came here.
I brought her, Aslan.
For what purpose?
I wanted to get her out of my own world, back into her own. I thought I was taking her back to her own place.
How came she to be in your world, son of Adam?
By magic. It was my uncle, you see. He sent us out of our own world by magic rings. At least I had to go because he sent Polly first. And then we met the witch in a place called Charn. And she just held on to us when...
You met the witch?
She woke up. I mean, I woke her. Because I wanted to know what would happen if I struck a bell. Polly didn't want to. It wasn't her fault. I fought her. I know I shouldn't have. I think I was a bit enchanted by the writing under the bell.
Do you?
No. I see now I wasn't. I was only pretending.
You see, friends, that before the new clean world I gave you is 7 hours old, a force of evil has already entered it, waked and brought hither by this son of Adam. But do not be cast down. Evil will come of that evil, but it is still a long way off, and I will see to it that the worst falls upon myself. In the meantime, let us take such order that for many 100 years yet this shall be a merry land in a merry world. And as Adam's race has done harm, Adam's race shall help to heal it. Draw near, you other two.
Us?
Yes.
Polly, come along, girl.
Yes, sir.
Son, I have known you long. Do you know me?
No, sir. Leastways, not in an ordinary manner of speaking. Yet I feel somehow, if I may make so free, as how we've met before.
It is well. You know better than you think you know, and you shall live to know me better yet. How does this land please you?
Oh, it's a fair treat, sir.
Would you like to live here always?
Well, you see, sir, I'm a married man. Now, if my wife was here, neither of us would ever want to go back to London, I reckon. We're both country folks, really, you see. Why, I mean, what are we meaning to do, sir?
My word. Is this... Am I dreaming?
Hello, Nellie.
Frank. This must be a dream. Why aren't you driving your cab? I was doing the laundry. Look, I've soap all over my hands. Oh, I hope I haven't fainted into the wash basin and drowned.
My dear, you haven't.
My children, you are to be the first king and queen of Narnia. You shall rule and name all these creatures and do justice among them and protect them from their enemies when enemies arise. And enemies will arise, for there is an evil witch in the world.
No, be patient, my dear, be patient. I'll explain everything. I beg your pardon, sir. And thank you very much, I'm sure. Which my missus does the same, sir. But I ain't no sort of a chap for a job like that, Governor. I never had much education, you see.
Can you use a spade and plough and raise food out of the earth?
Oh, yes, sir. I could do a bit of that sort of work, being brought up to it like.
Can you rule these creatures kindly and fairly, remembering that they are not slaves like the dumb beasts of the world you were born in, but talking beasts and free subjects?
Oh, I see that, sir. I'd try and do the square thing by them all.
And you wouldn't have favourites? Either among your own children or among the other creatures?
No, sir, I wouldn't.
And if enemies came against the land and there was war, would you be the first in the charge and the last in the retreat?
Well, sir, a chap don't exactly know till he's been tried, but I'd try, sir. Well, that is, I hope I'd try to do me bit, sir.
Then you will have done all that a king should do. Your coronation will be held presently, and you and your children and grandchildren shall be blessed. and some will be kings of Narnia, and others will be kings of Archenland, which lies yonder over the southern mountains. And you, little daughter.
Yes, sir.
You are welcome. Have you forgiven the boy for the violence he did you in the Hall of Images in the desolate palace of the accursed Chan?
Yes, Aslan. We've made up.
That is well. And now for the boy himself.
Yes, Aslan?
Son of Adam, are you ready to undo the wrong that you have done to my sweet country of Narnia on the very day of its birth?
Well, I don't see what I can do. You see, the Queen ran away and...
I asked, are you ready?
Yes. But please, please, won't you... Can't you give me something that will cure my mother?
Up until then, Diggory had been looking at the lion's great front feet and the huge claws on them. Now, in his despair, he looked up at its face. What he saw surprised him as much as anything in his whole life, for the tawny face was bent down near his own, and wonder of wonders, great shining tears stood in the lion's eyes. They were such big, bright tears compared with Diggory's own, that for a moment he felt as if the lion must really be sorrier about his mother than he was himself.
My son. My son. I know. Grief is great. Only you and I in this land know that yet. Let us be good to one another. But I have to think of hundreds of years in the life of Narnia. The witch whom you have brought into this world will come back to Narnia again, but it need not be yet. It is my wish to plant in Narnia a tree that she will not dare to approach, and that tree will protect Narnia from her for many years. So this land shall have a long, bright morning before any clouds come over the sun. You must get me the seed from which that tree is to grow.
Yes, sir.
The lion drew a deep breath, stooped its head even lower, and gave Diggory a lion's kiss. And at once Diggory felt that new strength and courage had gone into him.
Dear son, I will tell you what you must do. Turn and look to the west and tell me, what do you see?
I see terribly big mountains, Aslan. I see this river coming down cliffs in a waterfall. And beyond the cliff there are high green hills with forests. And beyond those there are higher ranges that look almost black. And then, far, far away, there are big snowy mountains, all heaped together, like the pictures of the Alps. And behind those, there's nothing but sky.
You see well. Now the land of Narnia ends where the waterfall comes down, and once you have reached the top of the cliff, you will be out of Narnia and into the western wild. You must journey through those mountains till you find a green valley with a blue lake in it, walled round by mountains of ice. At the end of the lake there is a steep green hill. On top of that hill there is a garden. In the center of that garden is a tree. Pluck an apple from that tree and bring it back to me.
Yes, sir. But I hope, Aslan, you're not in a hurry. I mean, I shan't be able to get there and back very quickly.
Little son of Adam, you shall have help. Come here, horse.
I am your servant, Aslan.
Would you like to be a winged horse?
Oh, if you wish, Aslan. If you really mean it. Well, I don't know why it should be me. I'm not a very clever horse.
Be the father of all flying horses. From now on, your name is Fledge.
Well now, good heavens, look at that. He flies.
Is it good, Fledge?
Oh, it is very good, Aslan.
Will you carry this little son of Adam on your back to the mountain valley I spoke of?
What, now? At once? Hurrah! Come on, little one. I've had things like you on my back before. Long, long ago, when there were green fields and sugar.
What are the two daughters of Eve whispering about?
What? Oh, sorry.
If you please, sir, I think the little girl would love to go too, if it weren't no trouble.
What does Fledge say about that?
Oh, I don't mind too. Not when they're little ones. I hope the elephant doesn't want to come as well.
I'll help you up. Diggory, up you go.
Oh, thank you.
Right, now you, Polly. Come on, Polly.
Thank you, Your Highness.
Oh, stop that. Oh, there you go, Strawberry. Fledge, you're off.
Do not fly too high. Do not try to go over the tops of the great ice mountains. Look out for the valleys, the green places, and fly through them. There will always be a way through. And now, be gone with my blessing.
Oh, Fledge, this is fun. Hold on to me tight, Polly.
I will. Don't you worry.
Away we
Look at the mountains. There's a gap through there.
That'll be where Arkan landed.
Yes, but look ahead, the waterfall.
Oh, we'll have to do a bit of zigzagging here. Hold on tight.
I say, look back. Look behind us.
The entire valley of Narnia.
It's so beautiful.
I wish we had someone to tell us what all those places are.
I don't suppose they're anywhere yet. I mean, there's no one there, and nothing happening. The world only began today.
But people will get there, and then they'll have histories.
Well, it's a jolly good thing they haven't now, because nobody can be made to learn it. Battles and dates and all that rot. It's cold up here.
My wings are starting to ache. There's no sign of the valley with the lake in it, like what Aslan said. What about going down and looking for a decent spot to spend the night in? Shan't reach that place tonight.
Yes, and surely it's about time for supper.
We'll land then.
I am hungry.
So am I.
Oh, plenty of grass around. Help yourselves. Oh, come on. Don't be shy. There's plenty for us all.
But we can't eat grass.
Oh, there I don't know quite what you'll do. It's very good grass, too.
Well, I do think someone would have arranged about our meals.
Oh, I'm sure Aslan would have if you'd asked him.
Wouldn't he know without being asked?
No doubt he would. But I've a sort of an idea he likes to be asked.
But what on earth are we going to do?
Oh, I'm sure I don't know.
I have an idea. Polly, why don't you use the ring to go home and get something to eat there?
But what about you?
I'll wait here. You can bring something back for me to eat.
But what if I can't get back? What if something goes wrong?
Oh. Then at least you'll be home again.
No, I won't go without you.
That's jolly decent of you.
I say, I've still got the remains of that bag of toffee in my pocket. It'll be better than nothing.
A lot better. But be careful to get your hand into your pocket without touching your ring.
There. I count 9 of them.
4 each?
What about the one left over?
Let's plant it and see if we can grow a toffee tree.
Good idea.
So they dibbled a small hole in the turf and buried the piece of toffee.
There we are.
Then they ate the other pieces, making them last as long as they could. When Fledge had quite finished his own excellent supper, he lay down. The children came and sat one on each side of him, leaning against his warm body, and when he'd spread a wing over each, they were really quite snug. As the bright stars of the new world came out, they talked over everything. At one point, they thought they heard something in the wood and got up to look around for the source of the noise. Finding nothing, they lay down again and were soon asleep. The next morning, Diggory and Polly were excited to find that the piece of toffee had grown into a tree. Its leaves were whitish and rather papery, and it was loaded with little brown fruits that looked rather like dates. The fruit was delicious, not exactly like toffee, softer for one thing, and juicy, but like fruit which reminded one of toffee. Fledge tried some, but said he preferred grass at that hour of the morning. Then, with some difficulty, the children got on his back, and the second journey began. It was a wonderful ride. The big snowy mountains rose above them in every direction. The valleys far beneath them were so green, and all the streams which tumbled down from the glaciers into the main river were so blue that it was like flying over gigantic pieces of jewellery. Quite soon they were sniffing the air for a heavenly smell, warm and golden, as if from all the most delicious fruits and flowers of the world was coming up to them from somewhere ahead.
It's coming from that valley with the lake in it.
So it is. And look, there's a green hill at the far end of the lake. And look how blue the water is.
It must be the place.
And it was.
Now all we have to do is walk up to the top of that hill.
Will you be all right, Fledge? It won't be an easy climb.
I'll use my wings to help balance me. Go on.
All round the very top of the hill ran a high wall of green turf. Inside the wall, trees were growing. Their branches hung out over the wall. Their leaves showed not only green, but also blue and silver when the wind stirred them. When the travellers reached the top, they walked nearly all the way round it, outside the green wall, before they found the gates. High gates of gold, fast shut, facing due east. Written on the gold, with silver letters, were the words,
"Come in by the gold gates, or not at all. Take of my fruit for others, or forbear. For those who steal, or those who climb my wall, shall find their heart's desire, and find despair." What do you think it means?
Take of my fruit for others.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. It means I mustn't eat any myself, I suppose. I don't know what all that jaw in the last line is about, though. Come in by the gold gates. Well, who'd want to climb a wall if he could get in by a gate?
If one can get the gates open.
This is obviously a very private place. I think only those who are invited may go in.
We'll wait out here then.
Yes.
All right. But how am I supposed to open the gates?
Perhaps you should try touching them.
You mean like this? Oh, I say. Well done, Polly.
Now that he could see into the place, it looked more private than ever. He went in very solemnly, looking about him. Everything was very quiet inside. Even the fountain, which rose near the middle of the garden, made only the faintest sound. The lovely smell was all around him. It was a happy place, but very serious. He knew which was the right tree at once, partly because it stood in the very center, and partly because the great silver apples with which it was loaded shone so and cast a light of their own down on the shadowy places where the sunlight did not reach. He walked straight across to it, picked an apple, and put it in the breast pocket of his jacket. But he couldn't help looking at it and smelling it before he put it away.
It smells delicious. I wonder if it would be wrong to taste one.
To Diggory's surprise, there on a branch above his head, a wonderful bird was roosting. I say roosting because it seemed almost asleep. Perhaps, but not quite. The tiniest slit of one eye was open. The bird was larger than an eagle, its breast saffron, its head crested with scarlet, and its tail purple. Diggory decided then not to eat one of the apples. Things like "do not steal" were, I think, hammered into boys' heads a good deal harder in those days than they are now. Diggory was just turning to go back to the gates when he got a terrible shock.
Go on, boy. Eat one.
It was the witch. She stood only a few yards away and was just throwing away the core of an apple which she'd eaten. The juice was darker than you would expect and had made a horrid stain round her mouth. Diggory guessed at once that she must have climbed over the wall, and he began to see that there might be some sense in that last line about getting your heart's desire and getting despair along with it. For the witch looked stronger and prouder than ever, and even, in a way, triumphant. But her face was deadly white, white as salt.
Ah! Quick! Quick! Polly! Get up, Fledge! Polly! Fledge!
Diggory ran for the gates as hard as he could. The witch was after him. As soon as he was out, the gates closed behind him of their own accord. That gave him the lead, but not for long. By the time he'd reached the others, the witch had climbed the wall or vaulted over it and was close behind him again.
The witch! That's right, child.
Stay where you are. I still have the ring. Don't come an inch nearer or we'll vanish.
Foolish boy, why do you run from me? I mean you no harm. If you do not stop and listen to me now, you will miss some knowledge that would have made you happy all your life.
Well, I don't want to hear it, thanks.
I know what errand you have come on, for it was I who was close beside you in the woods last night and heard all your counsels. You have plucked the fruit in the garden yonder. You have it in your pocket now, and you are going to carry it back, untasted, to the lion, for him to eat, for him to use. You simpleton, do you know what that fruit is? It is the apple of youth, the apple of life. I know, for I have tasted it, and I feel already such changes in myself that I know I shall never grow old or die. Eat it, boy. Eat it. And you and I will both live forever and be king and queen of this whole world. Or of your world, if we decide to go back there.
No, thanks. I don't know that I care much about living on and on after everyone I know is dead. I'd rather live an ordinary time and die and go to heaven.
Good for you, Diggory.
But what about this mother of yours whom you pretend to love so?
What's she got to do with it?
Do you not see, fool, that one bite of that apple would heal her? You have it in your pocket. We are here by ourselves and the lion is far away. Use your magic and go back to your own world. A minute later, you can be at your mother's bedside, giving her the fruit. 5 minutes later, you will see the color coming back to her face. She will tell you the pain is gone. Soon she will tell you she feels stronger. Then she will fall asleep. Think of that. Hours of sweet, natural sleep without pain, without drugs. Next day, everyone will be saying how wonderfully she has recovered. Soon she will be quite well again. All will be well again. Your home will be happy again. You will be like other boys.
Oh, Diggory.
What has the lion ever done for you that you should be his slave? What can he do to you once you are back in your own world? And what would your mother think if she knew that you could have taken away her pain and given her back her life and saved your father's heart from being broken, and that you wouldn't? That you'd rather run errands for a wild animal in a strange world that is no business of yours?
I don't think he is a wild animal. I don't know.
Then he is something worse. Look what he has done to you already. Look how heartless he has made you. That is what he does to everyone who listens to him. Cruel, pitiless boy. You would let your own mother die rather than...
Oh, shut up! Do you think I don't see? But I promised.
Ah, but you didn't know what you were promising, did you? And no one here can prevent you.
Mother herself wouldn't like it. Awfully strict about keeping promises, and not stealing, and all that sort of thing. She'd tell me not to do it, quick as anything, if she was here.
But she need not know. You wouldn't have to tell her how you got the apple. Your father need never know. No one in your world need know anything about this whole story. You needn't take the little girl back with you, you know.
What?
You could go without her, and no one in your world would be the wiser.
You very nearly had me there.
What do you mean?
All that nonsense you were saying about my mother. You almost had me convinced. But to suggest that I should leave Polly behind suddenly made me realize who and what you are.
Good for you, Diggs. Quick, let's get away, now.
Hurry, up onto Fledge.
No! Wait!
Go on, Fledge, go!
Right!
Go then, fools! Think of me, boy, when you lie old and weak and dying. And remember how you threw away the chance of endless youth. It won't be offered you again!
Wait! It's the flying horse and those two-legged creatures. Here they come! Aslan!
Yes. Son of Adam.
I've brought you the apple you wanted, sir.
Well done. Well done, son of Adam. For this fruit you hungered and thirsted and wept. No hand but yours shall sow the seed of the tree that is to be the protection of Narnia. Throw the apple towards the riverbank where the ground is soft.
Yes, sir.
It is well thrown. Let us now proceed to the coronation of King Frank of Narnia and Helen, his queen.
King Frank and Queen Helen were dressed in strange and beautiful clothes, and from their shoulders rich robes flowed out behind them. Their heads were bare, but Helen had let her hair down, and it made a great improvement in her appearance. Yet it was neither hair nor clothes that made them look so different from their old selves. Their faces had a new expression. especially the king's, all the sharpness and cunning and quarrelsomeness which he'd picked up as a London cabby seemed to have been washed away, and the courage and kindness which he'd always had were easier to see.
Upon my word, Polly, my old master's been changed nearly as much as I have. Why, he's a real master now.
Yes, he is.
Now, some of you, undo that tangle of branches you have made with those trees, and let us see what we shall find there.
Diggory now saw that where 4 trees grew close together, their branches had all been laced together or tied together with switches so as to make a sort of cage. The 2 elephants with their trunks and a few dwarfs with their axes soon got it all undone. There were 3 things inside. One was a young tree that seemed to be made of gold. The second was a young tree that seemed to be made of silver. But the third was a miserable object in muddy clothes sitting hunched between them.
Uncle Andrew!
Yes. Yes, it is I.
What happened to you?
Those stupid beasts thought I was a tree, that's what happened.
A tree?
They tried to plant me and then water me, and then I was buried up to my waist in mud.
Well, why didn't you simply tell them?
Tell them? Try reasoning with these animals? No, every time I tried to run away, one of the elephants grabbed me and threw me down again. Finally, they made this cruel cage and threw food at me. Didn't mind the nuts, pears, apples, and bananas so much, but the bears dropped a bee's nest with honey in, and the honey covered my face, and the birds gave me worms, and the donkeys pelted me with thistles. They kept me in this cage all night. Oh, I'm a lamentable creature. Look at my trousers. Ruined. They're ruined.
Bring out that creature.
I'll talk to Aslan for you, if you like.
Talk to Aslan?
The lion.
You've gone mad. Just leave me to lie here in peace. So tired.
Aslan, please, could you say something to unfrighten him? And then you could say something to prevent him from ever coming back here again.
Do you think he wants to?
Well, he might send someone else. He's so excited about the bar of the lamppost growing into a lamppost tree, and he thinks...
He thinks great folly, child. This world is bursting with life for these few days because the song with which I called it into life still hangs in the air and rumbles in the ground. It will not be so for long. But I cannot tell that to this old sinner, and I cannot comfort him either. He has made himself unable to hear my voice. If I spoke to him, he would hear only growlings and roarings. O Adam's sons, how cleverly you defend yourselves against all that might do you good. But I will give him the only gift he is still able to receive. Sleep. Sleep, and be separated for some few hours from all the torments you have devised for yourself.
Yes, sleep. What a marvelous idea.
You beasts, carry him aside and lay him down. Now, dwarves, show your smithcraft. Let me see you make 2 crowns for your king and queen. Rise up, King and Queen of Narnia, father and mother of many kings that shall be in Narnia and the Isles and Archenland. Be just and merciful and brave. The blessing is upon you.
A little way off, towering over their heads, they saw a tree which had certainly not been there before. It must have grown up silently, yet swiftly, as a flag rises when you pull it up on a flagstaff while they were all busied about the coronation. Its spreading branches seemed to cast a light rather than a shade, and silver apples peeped out like stars from under every leaf. But it was the smell which came from it, even more than the sight, which made everyone draw in their breath. For a moment, one could hardly think about anything else.
Son of Adam, you have sown well. And you Narnians, let it be your first care to guard this tree, for it is your shield. The witch of whom I told you has fled far away into the north of the world. She will live on there, growing stronger in dark magic. But while that tree flourishes, she will never come down into Narnia. She dare not come within 100 miles of the tree, for its smell, which is joy and life and health to you, is death and horror and despair to her.
Oh, Aslan, sir, I forgot to tell you. The witch has already eaten one of those apples. One of the same kind that tree grew from.
So there must be some mistake. And she can't really mind the smell of those apples.
Why do you think that, daughter of Eve?
Well, she ate one.
Child, that is why all the rest are now a horror to her. That is what happens to those who pluck and eat fruits at the wrong time and in the wrong way. Oh, the fruit is good, but they loathe it ever after.
Oh, I see. And I suppose because she took it in the wrong way, it won't work with her. I mean, it won't make her always young and all that.
Alas, it will. Things always work according to their nature. She has won her heart's desire. She has unwearying strength and endless days like a goddess. But length of days with an evil heart is only length of misery, and already she begins to know it. All get what they want. They do not always like it.
I nearly ate one myself, Aslan. Would I have...
You would, child, for the fruit always works. It must work. But it does not work happily for any who pluck it at their own will. If any Narnian unbidden had stolen an apple and planted it here to protect Narnia, it would have protected Narnia, but it would have done so by making Narnia into another strong and cruel empire like Charm. Not the kindly land I mean it to be. And the witch tempted you to do another thing, my son, did she not?
Yes, Aslan. She wanted me to take an apple home to my mother.
Understand, then, that it would have healed her. But not to your joy or hers. The day would have come when both you and she would have looked back and said it would have been better to die in that illness.
But, Aslan, what am I going to do about my mother?
That is what would have happened, child, with a stolen apple. It is not what will happen now. What I give you now will bring joy. It will not in your world give endless life, but it will heal. Go, pluck her an apple from the tree.
You want me to? I mean, can I?
Yes.
Thank you, Aslan. Now, please, may we go home? We still have the rings.
You need no rings when I am with you.
Oh, it's the wood between the worlds.
And there's Uncle Andrew, asleep on the grass.
Come, it is time that you went back. But there are two things to see to first: a warning and a command. Look here, children. Do you see that hollow? It was once a pool. When you jumped into it, you came to the world where a dying sun shone over the ruins of Charn. There is no pool now. That world is ended, as if it had never been. Let the race of Adam and Eve take warning.
Yes, Aslan. But we're not quite as bad as that world, are we?
Not yet, daughter of Eve, not yet. But you are growing more like it. It is not certain that some wicked one of your race will not find out a secret as evil as the deplorable word and use it to destroy all living things. And soon, very soon, before you are an old man and an old woman, great nations in your world will be ruled by tyrants who care no more for joy and justice and mercy than the Empress Jadis. Let your world beware. That is the warning. Now for the command. As soon as you can, take from this uncle of yours his magic rings and bury them, so that no one can use them again.
Both the children were looking up into the lion's face as he spoke these words. And all at once the face seemed to be a sea of tossing gold in which they were floating, and such a sweetness and power rolled about them and over them and entered into them, that they felt that they'd never really been happy or wise or good or even alive and awake before. And the memory of that moment stayed with them always.
The ambulance will be in a jiffy, don't you worry.
Diggory, look! We're back! Great Scott! I believe the whole adventure has taken no time at all.
Now, where is that young woman who caused this disorder?
What's happened? Oh, I'm so confused. Look at my trousers. And what's this? What's this honey doing all over my face?
You had something to do with this, didn't you?
Me?
He's been hurt, Constable.
And he lives right here. May we take him in?
Well, I suppose. And I want a formal statement later.
Thank you. Come along, Uncle Andrew. Come inside.
Brandy. I need a brandy. Oh, don't let go of me. I'm not an invalid, you know. I want to have a bath. And tell Mrs. Dilber to bring me a brandy.
Yes, sir. Can you take the rings, Polly? I want to go to my mother.
Right. See you later.
Diggory took a minute to get his breath, and then went softly into his mother's room. And there she lay, as he'd seen her lie so many other times, propped up on the pillows, with a thin, pale face that would make you cry to look at it. Diggory took the apple of life out of his pocket. The brightness of the apple threw strange lights on the ceiling. Nothing else in the room was worth looking at. They looked faded and dingy, even in the sunlight. And the smell of the apple of youth was as if there was a window in the room which opened on heaven.
Oh, darling. Oh, what a lovely-looking apple.
You will eat it, won't you? Please?
Oh, I don't know what the doctor would say. But really, I almost feel as if I could.
Then do!
Oh, it may be the most delicious apple I've ever tasted.
Eat all of it, Mother.
When she had finished the entire apple, she smiled and sank her head back on the pillow and was asleep. A real, natural, gentle sleep, without any of those nasty drugs. And he was sure now that her face looked a little different. He bent down and kissed her very softly
Sleep well, Mother.
and stole out of the room with a beating heart, taking the core of the apple with him. He hardly dared to hope what would happen, but when he remembered the face of Aslan, he did hope. That evening, he buried the core of the apple in the back garden.
Well, the doctor says it is the most extraordinary case he's ever known in his whole medical career. It's like a miracle, he said. I don't want to raise any false hopes, but, well, he says it's a miracle.
What luck! I mean about your mother. I think it's going to be all right. But if you don't mind, I'd really rather not talk about it yet.
All right.
What about the rings?
I've got them all. Gloves on.
Gloves on.
Let's bury them. Oh. Diggory?
Yes?
Was this tree here before? I don't remember it.
No, it wasn't. This is where I buried the apple core.
Oh, how wonderful. Is that why you've dug this circle around it?
Yes. It seemed right somehow to put the rings around this tree. Hand them here, please.
There.
Goodbye, rings.
Yes. Goodbye.
About a week after this, it was quite certain that Diggory's mother was getting better. Within 2 weeks, she was able to sit out in the garden. And a month later, that whole house had become a different place. Aunt Letty did everything that Mother liked. Windows were opened, frowsy curtains were drawn back to brighten up the rooms. There were new flowers everywhere and nicer things to eat. And they all had such games with Diggory and Polly that Aunt Letty would say,
I declare, Mabel, you're the biggest child of the three.
Diggory's father returned from India with the news that his old great-uncle Kirk had died and left them a lot of money as an inheritance. This meant that he could retire and come home from India forever and ever, and they would have a great big house in the country with suits of armor and stables and kennels and a river, a park, vineries, woods, and even mountains behind it. Polly came to the house in the summers, where she learned to ride and swim and milk and bake and climb. Uncle Andrew, who learned his lesson and never tried any magic again, came to live with them there. In his old age, he became a nicer and less selfish man than he'd ever been before. So Diggory felt just as sure as you are that they were all going to live happily ever after. But perhaps you would like to know just one thing more. The tree, which sprang from the apple that Diggory had planted in the back garden, lived and grew into a fine tree. Growing in the soil of our world, far out of the sound of Aslan's voice, and far from the young air of Narnia, it did not bear apples that would revive a dying woman, though it did bear apples that were more beautiful than any others in England. And they were extremely good for you, though not fully magical. But inside the tree itself, in the very sap of it, the tree never forgot that other tree in Narnia to which it belonged. Sometimes it would move mysteriously when there was no wind blowing. However that might be, it was proved later that there was still magic in its wood. For when Diggory was quite middle-aged and had become a great traveller and a professor, and the Kettlers' old house belonged to him, There was a great storm all over the south of England which blew the tree down. He couldn't bear to have it simply chopped up for firewood, so he had part of the timber made into a wardrobe, which he put in his big house in the country. And though he himself did not discover the magic properties of that wardrobe, someone else did. That was the beginning of all the comings and goings between Narnia and our world, which you may hear about some other time.
When it was published in 1955, The Magician's Nephew was an instant success with the many readers of the Chronicles of Narnia around the globe. It answered many of the questions that children and adults had asked Jack Lewis in the numerous letters he'd received. Narnia was so real to people that they simply had to know how it all began. And it's to Jack's credit that he'd had such a wonderful world worked out in his mind. The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis was dramatized and directed by Paul McCusker. Our producer and sound designer was Dave Arnold. Music was composed and orchestrated by John Campbell. Our cast included Paul Schofield as the storyteller, David Suchet as Aslan, Nathaniel Lippiott as Diggory, Jessica Fox as Polly, Elizabeth Council as Queen Jadis, and Richard Sims as Uncle Andrew. Our cast also included the multi-voice talents of Robert Benfield, Nick Burnell, Evangeline Evans, Jane Gambier, Katie Glassborough, Peter Goodright, Polly March, David Oakley, Audrey Palmer, Philip Sherlock, and Mervyn Stutter. Focus on the Family Radio Theatre is a production of Focus on the Family. I'm your host, Douglas Gresham. Thank you for listening.
This delirium is at the end. Oh, I can't bear it. It's not fair. I never meant to be a magician. It's all a misunderstanding. It's all my godmother's fault. I must protest against this in my state of health, too.
Oh, bother. What are you doing here, Uncle Andrew? You weren't supposed to come along. Are you there, Polly?
Yes, I'm here. But do stop shoving.
I'm not. Wait.
Oh no! We brought the horse too!
And the cabbie.
That's right, Strawberry. Yeah, that's much better, isn't it? Now, take it easy.
And Queen Jardis is still on the horse's back. She's still holding that iron bar.
Don't worry. See? She's as helpless as a baby.
What has happened?
That's right, old boy. Come over to this pool and have a drink, if that's what you want.
Strawberry did the most natural thing in the world. Being very thirsty, he walked slowly across to the nearest pool and stepped into it to have a drink. Diggory, you see, was still holding the witch's heel, and Polly was holding Diggory's hand. One of the cabbie's hands was on Strawberry, and Uncle Andrew, still very
My best to show you such civilities as were in my power, and what has been my reward? You have robbed a highly respectable jeweler. You've insisted on my entertaining you to be exceedingly expensive.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm jolly well going to ask the lion himself if he can help me.
Diggory, where are you going?
To find the lion.
Have you gone mad? Come back here, boy, come back! Oh, wait for me.
In a few minutes, Diggory came to the edge of the wood, and there he stopped. The lion was singing still, but now the song had once more changed. Can you imagine a stretch of grassy land bubbling like water in a pot? For that is really the best description of what was happening to the countryside. In all directions, it was swelling into humps. They were of very different sizes, some no bigger than molehills, some as big as wheelbarrows, two the size of cottages, and the humps moved and swelled till they burst. And the crumbled earth poured out of them, and from each hump there came out an animal. The moles came out just as you might see a mole come out anywhere in our world. The dogs came out, barking the moment their heads were free and struggling as you've seen them do when they're getting through a narrow hole in a hedge. The stags were the strangest to watch, for of course the antlers came up a long time before the rest of them. So at first, Diggory thought they were trees. The frogs, who all came up to the river, went straight into it with a plop, plop, and a loud croaking. The panthers, leopards, and things of that sort sat down at once to wash the loose earth off their hindquarters, and then stood up against the trees to sharpen their front claws. Showers of birds came out of the trees, butterflies fluttered, bees got to